Hello, and welcome to my presentation. My name is Anna Seplican, and today I will be telling you about the similarities between Brave New World and modern society. Humanity is constantly trying to obtain what we deem as perfection. American author Lois Lowry once said, "The life where nothing was ever unexpected, or inconvenient, or unusual, the life without color, pain, or past." We would sacrifice anything to reach a society where everyone is content and nothing bad ever happens. However, this objective can only be achieved through the sacrifice of everything that, in fact, makes us human: the ability to feel pain, love, happiness, and anger. In Aldous Huxley's dystopian science fiction novel, Brave New World, world state society finally achieves the perfection it so desperately strived for, but at the cost of everything that allowed humanity to live freely. Horrors of readily available drugs and the normalization, promiscuous sex, as well as forced consumerism are all ever so present tactics used in Brave New World to ensure the permanent happiness of its citizens and are present throughout our modern day lives. In Brave New World, citizens of the world state stop at nothing to achieve happiness. They regularly use the wonder drug, soma, in a recreational manner in order to avoid negative feelings that may arise in their lives. The world state government even readily encourages its citizens to consume soma. And if, ever, by some unlucky chance, anything unpleasant should somehow happen, why, there's always soma to give you a holiday from the facts, and there's always soma to calm your anger. In the present, modern society is also drawn to achieve happiness through the use of drugs. Doctors often prescribe painkillers, sometimes more than ethically necessary, according to a KHN Johns Hopkins analysis of Medicare data from 2016, as well as many people partake in the use of recreational marijuana. Like Huxley predicted, citizens of modern society have turned to the use of these emotional suppressants in order to ease their day-to-day lives and avoid negative emotions. Lately, there has been an uprising in the use of such drugs, according to an article published by the CBC called "Opioid Deaths Skyrocket. Mental Health Suffers Due to Pandemic Restrictions," new federal report says. This year alone, the overdose numbers in British Columbia rose by 30% as more people partake in the consumption of opioids to distract themselves from the lack of happiness in their lives. Although our current world has not yet reached the catastrophic numbers of drug users that Brave New World entails, a pattern can be noticed and indicates an alarming future where we will one day use the drugs the way characters in Brave New World do. Aldous Huxley's body of work in Brave New World centers around the casual use of sex as a form of escaping the unpleasant feelings in one's life. "Everyone belongs to everyone" is a line often stated by many of the characters in the novel, and refers to how no sexual relationship in this dystopian world is more important than any other relationship. It also represents how every person in Brave New World has the right to have sex with anyone they wish without having to face any complications afterwards. With the uprise in dating and hookup apps around the world, many citizens of modern society are grasping an eerily similar mentality to that of Brave New World. In Donna Freida's book, The End of Sex: How Hookup Culture is Leaving a Generation Unhappy, Sexually Unfulfilled, and Confused About Intimacy, she explains how hooking up has all but replaced traditional old-school dating rituals. She also states that more and more people are seeking love and affection casually, which is leading to a world where no one takes relationships seriously and only uses them for sexual pleasure rather than soulful connections. One article published by The Atlantic in 2018 pointed to how an increased number of young people are turning to popular dating apps, such as Tinder, in order to achieve this hookup culture objective. The article included the statistic of Tinder reportedly having more than 70% of people worldwide downloading their app. This alarming comparison to Brave New World hints at society's slow loss of actual heartfelt relationships, and instead points to a cold world where we as young people choose to have sex with strangers for one night rather than finding lovable long-term partners that we get along with. Much like the characters in Huxley's novel, who choose to sleep with whomever without thinking twice about their actions, the uprise in hookup culture is sinisterly similar to the everybody belongs to everybody mentality of Brave New World. With the heavy presence of technology and consumerism, Brave New World aims to shine a light on how world state controllers harness technology in order to attempt to guarantee human happiness through materialistic possessions. These technologies come into play in the form of sleep recordings known as hypnopedia and are used to condition newborns while they sleep to want to contribute to the consumerism in the world state and to buy into the utopian society. And that is the secret of happiness and virtue, liking what you've got to do. All conditioning aims at that, making people like their unescapable social destinies. Huxley is demonstrating how people have no ability to choose what they like and what they do not like due to the technological manipulation they are exposed to while young. This is oddly similar to how we, in present day, purchase the latest models of cell phones because we are conditioned to want what is newer and more expensive. So far, the biggest issue has been peer pressure around which phone to have. In the early days, both children were given basic phones for calls and texting, but peer pressure meant they soon wanted better phones like the ones their friends had, claims one mother who was interviewed about her children's technology in an article published on Internet Matters. On top of the social pressure we all feel to obtain these newer-than-new cellular devices, the cell phone mega giant Apple has admitted that it deliberately prevents chips in older iPhones from reaching their full processing power under certain conditions, according to an article written by Mashable while speaking with the company in 2018. Contributions such as these to our already heavily consumerism-conditioned brains add to the likelihood of our modern society one day reaching the mass manipulation mentioned in Brave New World. We strive to stay on top of the newest trends because society has conditioned us, just like how Hypnopedia has conditioned the citizens of the world state, to want to consume the newest and latest models of technology and devices in order to buy into capitalism because we have no other choice. Perfection may be hoped for, dreamt of, and even sought after by humanity, but achieving it would much rather lead to a dystopian future than the utopian society one would dream of. Our present normalization of drugs, the emerging uprise of hookup culture, as well as society's dependence on consumerism, deems our modernity as one that Aldous Huxley wrote about in his novel Brave New World. With all this in mind, would it be possible to escape this future that Huxley wrote about, or are we all doomed for the heart-wrenching society that the citizens of the world state live in? I have included my works cited page, and thank you for listening to my presentation.